kick your legs out a little bit. I want to just work with this a little bit more. And we have. So where does her and Kai happen in like the yang form? So we complete left, we complete brush knee, and so we have this extension, this yang moment, and then we sink. I want you to feel like everything comes in here for a moment, and then it goes back out. Comes in, goes back out. So one of the big moments in the yang style is this quality of pulling or condensing rapidly into space using your knees. So imagine if you have your hands up at about somebody your own height and you're stretched out to kind of embrace them. And then and watch how quiet my head is in this one. So I'm just gonna sink all my weight onto the left foot and let my body do her. Let your mind do her. So the speed of a strike is the speed of your mind. So here I'm stretched out. Staying connected, comes down quickly, everything comes in together. The body does her real rapidly, okay? So, and this is, we're not throwing anything. Actually, everything's just sucking in. So here we're stretched out, here stretched in. Stretched in. Stretched in. So it's just something like this, okay? And the more you kind of pull up here, the more you kind of lose this, but just feel this kind of drawing in. Try the other side. Just do that a little bit, please. I wanted to see how that works. I like the sound effects. That looks good, yeah. Yeah, nice. Okay. It looks good, Susan. And see if you can get your whole body. It's not just your leg. So feel like it's, so you go, this is bending. So you're straight when your hands are up, and then you bend. Straight, bend. That looks good, Rick. Straight, bend. So bend your upper body too. Feel like it's happening all through your body. Okay, good. All right, great. Thank you. All right. I go back here for 1 minute. And so I'm not going to be able to get to everything that I wanted to today, but I wanted to start thinking about what John calls the iron bridges. When I got my book, I asked John, there's a lot in this book. and I said, how should I start practicing? He goes, well, start with the 9 bridges and the 7 integrations. Of course, no, yeah, that makes perfect sense. The 9 bridges and the 7 integrations. So I'm going to show you today the first 2 of the 9 bridges, and this comes in a section of the book, and John says this is the stretching away from the power hub, this yin. I have to look at the word yin yuan, power source. He calls it this power hub, and it's right on our back. Let me see, I've got a photograph of it lined up. And there it is. Does everybody see that power, the power zone there, the power hub? So this is, all the stretchiness comes from this. And this first one we're going to do is called cross bridges. And it's basically, we're going to cross our hands in front of our body low, we're going to cross them high, and then we're going to separate the hands. And there's two ways to pull through this. So I'm going to show you. So this little guy right here is called the tiger's eye, okay? And so we're going to have our hands sort of like this, and the tiger's eye is going to be, imagine it's pulling from the tiger's eye. It's going to associate also with pulling from the big knuckle. So there's going to be this kind of, it's going to be kind of this spiraling energy that happens by virtue of these pulls. So I want you to just think about, we'll work with that, the tiger's eye, and then, I'm sorry to do this, but this is the this big knuckle here, where it comes out of Lao Gung. This point here goes around to the other point. So this is a really big, and we're going to imagine kind of making, so here, if you take your finger, let me see if I can do this standing up here. So I'm going to take this finger, and I want to be able to kind of point it at various places. And here I want to kind of make it go up, connect with over my head, and stretch my body up using that kind of quality. So I'm sorry to rush through this a little bit, but we're going to, somebody asking me something? Okay, no. So just want you to take your hands away from your body like this, and we're going to make these like you're holding a barrel in front of your body. And there's going to be this kind of pulling this way, but pulling back to the power source. So feel this kind of pulling through the tiger's eye and this knuckle, and connect it back to the power source, the yin yuan. Okay, so, and this is kind of low in the body, so you can see how the elbows are important to keep that. And I want you to bring it a little bit higher, up to about here. I want you to bring it a little bit higher and stretch it. And now I want you to pull it apart and continue to stretch it and continue to move it here and feel how that connects. Relax the hand. Cross bridges, the cross bridges. So I'm going to take my right hand on top and come in front of my body, kind of pull from the tiger's eye and the big knuckle, that second knuckle, pull. Now bring it up. It's a slightly different orientation. Now separate them and pull with it. Okay, relax. I just want you to feel that stretchiness through your body. Relax yourself. Do a couple more. So pull from the tiger's eye. Pull. Bring it up. Stretch it across your body. So pull it, and feel this one going like this. Feel it, how it works around the arms, okay? The next one, and so we'll do these over time, and just to kind of start feeling this quality up through the shoulders. So this is not to like get your shoulders all uptight or anything, but just to feel these kind of stretches. Next one is, you're just going to stand here, going to bring the hands up, double palm down. Okay, so right in front of the shoulder, just take the thumb and point it down, kind of rotating out. And feel that stretch. Feel that stretch. If you take your hand and do kind of the tiger bite or the snake bite, you know, kind of wrapping, you'll feel the wrap a little bit more. Just let the hands come up, roll down. Relax. Maybe do 5 of these. Just feel it. Make sure to feel it on both sides. Relax the arms. Try to connect it back to the power hub. Okay, relax. Then I want you to just do this. Start with this one. Rub the fingers. Rub the fingers. And then keep the elbows real quiet. Let the wrists rotate. Go the other way. Feel for the range of motion. Feel for the stretchiness. Let the forearms kind of go with it. If you're feeling this in your feet, that's good. Now feel the shoulders engage. Shift, you can shift side to side and out. Feel that spiraling. Okay, relax. Okay. So we did 2 of the 9 bridges, the first 2, the cross bridges, kind of using the tiger eye and the knuckle to stretch and connect. And especially this one was cool when we pulled my arms apart and just feeling that connection through there. And then the drop palms, feeling how that rotation from the power hub out through the arms. So just keeping that connection. This is beginning of training that 8 brocade, that connection, the Jiebingung, the connection through the body. We still want to cultivate the sung. Sung is on top of all of this. Just relax. This starts to build this intensegrity structure in our body. So pushing on my elbow creates an effect in my hip that allows me to let that spiral come up and deal with the back of your neck. So, and one of the things that John says in this, and it's like in the beginning of the Tai Chi, out of Wu Qi, yin and yang are born. In the interaction of yin and yang, the 10,000 manifestations come up. And so the iron bridges just show you that all around your body, there's all these kind of connections, in that the manifestation will be given to you by your practice partner or by conditions that you encounter by the interplay of the yin. They're not intended to be
hard to hear.
Oh, shoot. I think my thing ran out of juice. I have to switch.
This is the image that John has in his book.
Pardon me?
This is the image that John puts in his book.
This is the image. Yeah, that's a good image. Yeah, it's just all your Tai Chi is this writhing spherical ball that is, you press on one part of it, some other part of it is going to be coming at you. So it's not learning kind of road exercises, but it's training the body to encounter Kai and her, gathering and extending all over the place. So this is part of the study. We practice like this to kind of engage our body, but the idea is to liberate it into just doing its own. So I remember practicing the Hanon lessons on my piano when I was playing the piano as a kid. Still play a little bit, but so, you know, and I was like, oh, my left hand is really, oh, it's getting better. You know? And suddenly I could use my left hand almost like I could use my right. And it wouldn't have happened if I just stayed with the dominant hand. So we're practicing to kind of, we're learning this form to throw the form back open. And I was telling Allie and Felix today that I begged my brother Chok Kong in Sydney to do some translating of the Shenyi Qi Qigong, and he started with it. And one of the beautiful things he said was, form does not matter, form is emptiness. And you have to train the internals and understand the internals. And so the internal I'm trying to encourage is this 8 brocade connectivity throughout your body, and how to get that. And we get it by walking simply, by feeling the whole body open together and gather together. And once that becomes second nature, then you can apply it in other ways. It doesn't have to be, tussling around with an opponent or something like that, but it's great to train that way too. You see, oh, she pushes on me there in my rib cage. I can open the other side of my body. So that's kind of what we're after.
Hey, Bill, you mentioned we need to maintain the quality of sung when we're doing these exercises. So I understand that to mean really releasing the muscles, letting the muscles relax. So is our attention then is really the ligaments, the tendons, the fascia?
Yes. Yeah. So this is creating a connectivity of tendons and fascia primarily. The what do they call that? Chinese have a kind of a cool, simple word for it. But anyway, it's that connective tissue, and that's what we're doing with these practices. Ben never talked about this stuff, and he was really good without looking at this stuff. But in a way, the more I practice it, it feels a little incomplete what we got. We got strong legs and relaxed, if you follow, but a lot of connectivity seems to be missing sometimes. But not a complaint about Ben, really. So it's just kind of filling out the story, maybe.
May I make a comment about that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of the opposite pole of the same stick. And I think what we're doing is wonderful. But I mean, Ben never said this. This is just my impression that maybe his idea was, let's not clutter the mind with a bunch of thoughts. Just just feel it. Just relax and feel it.
I think that's right. Ben really, he would listen to questions, but he really wanted you to just stand there and take it. And you'd figure it out. I mean, that would just come to you over time, and that there was nothing like practice time. Kung Fu, time and work creates excellence. Kung Fu means excellence. It's 2 pictograms, one representing work and one representing time. Those 2 things create excellence, skillfulness. And you could see it in Ben. It was a beautiful idea, really fierce and simple. And I know I've been exposed to a lot of things, leaving my young family a little bit and coming here and encountering new ideas. I was very resistant at first, and because they weren't doing it the way Ben did it. And I saw that there were a couple different ways up the mountain, actually. There's a couple different paths. And so now we're playing with this new one and feeling for it in our bodies.
I love it, and I in little ways when I'm doing professors forum, I feel what we're doing manifest in ways that I've never felt before, and it's really kind of a fun discovery. So I love it.
They're cousins. These forms are cousins. This is a Beijing style. This is out of Beijing more than Shanghai. And they all trace themselves back to one family, one big guy. And Yang Chengfu had 8 disciples, you know, from Malaysia, Taiwan, Beijing, Shanghai. So that diaspora created inflections in the training mechanisms. And they're beautiful. I mean, they open aspects that were unforeseen before. So, all right, you guys, I have to admit, I only started recording about halfway through. I screwed up a little bit, but I did have some things recorded prior to us meeting up that I'll send, and which may have less to do with our whole discussion from today than usual. And I will send along the spinal Qigong set again. It is the core of our practice here in Santa Fe, and that is just, it's a great little, if you got 20 minutes to practice, doing the form is always great, but this spinal Qigong, it just isolates and condenses the intelligence of the form into these simple actions. And I would really recommend finding a way to have them in your life somehow. And I will send one other thing. About 5 years ago, I sent out a PDF to some people on core competencies in Tai Chi. And so I'll send that around too. I've got that. I just kind of was thinking about it again, and I'll send that around. And it may not be completely up to date, but it's a good one to have in your notes and to think about, am I getting those aspects into my body or not? So
Great. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Bill.